A lot is expected from every father. But we all know it takes more than being masculine to be a father. We require the grace of God, the Father in heaven, who allowed us the grace to become fathers. Our discussion this morning is to let our wives and our children and the whole world know what fathers go through. So I have three very important gentlemen to share the discussion with me. You all know Brother MOB very well. Please put your hands together to welcome him. Sitting next to him is Brother Dikpe Dino. Please put your hand together for him. Next to him is Brother Demola Alimi. His face is relatively new to a lot of people, but he's a very strong member of the church. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I want to start this way. A lot is expected from fathers, and these bring a lot of expectations, and expectations lead to pressure. Clearly, I want us to identify what are the sources of pressure on fathers in the home. I want to start with first Brother MOB.
Everybody, and happy Father's Day to all the men. Naturally, a lot of men are going through pressures lately. One, the economic situation in town, the expectation from the world, because a lot of men are being pulled in different directions. The world wants you to be this, the world wants you to be that, and most men, we don't have clearly cut objective. This is who I am. So because they lack identity, a lot of men are under pressure. One, then let's trickle it down to the home. A lot of men are under pressure at home because they are actually causing the pressure for themselves.
Really?
Oh, yes.
What do you mean?
I will tell you. Everybody wants to be a good father. But I tell you, the ultimate aim is to be a godly father. There's a great difference. There's a great difference between being a good father and being a godly father. You said to your wife in the morning, I'm out of cash. And you are coming back home in the evening with a brand new shoe. It's not aligning. A lot of men don't, a lot of women.
What if it was a gift?
I will tell you this, Bromiwa. A lot of women don't know how much their husbands earn. So if I don't know how much you earn, and you're saying I'm not considerate, if you tell me, MOB, what I have, Shingbai is 200 naira, then we'll plan with it. But I don't know how much you earn, and so I keep mounting pressure on you. So most men are creating pressures for themselves.
Thank you very much. Radina, do you share his opinion on the sources of pressure to fathers in the home?
Good morning, church. Yes, I am with him 100%. I believe strongly that there are two big sources of pressure. There are internal sources, which is what he has. Sometimes we create pressure for ourselves. You just sit down and by your hands, by yourselves, you just create pressure. Maybe by not being open enough, by not being honest enough with your partners or members of your household, you create pressure for yourself. And then a good part of our pressure is also external pressure. For instance, every man's pressure starts from like age 2.5 or 3. It starts from when you start crying and your mom says, you are a man, stop crying.
Imagine.
Now, we all have different mix.
Yes.
We have different temperaments. Some people are emotional and they need to express that emotion. Now, a boy that needs to constantly express emotion, and the parents, the society has been, you're a man, stop crying. He learns to start bottling up his emotion from when he's like this. And that, garbage in, garbage out. And then the universe is not a vacuum. That emotion you are bottling up is stored somewhere. And that's when we see men exploding at unusual times. Because when they should have expressed their emotion, the society has told them, parents have told them, friends have told them, you are a man, don't express emotions that way. Men don't cry. Men doesn't do this. The day you will now decide to release the pent-up emotion, it usually goes the wrong way. So there are external pressures that are common. There are some very, very common ones. Everybody knows financial, yes. Emotional, yes. There's even pressure in the other room. There's performance pressure. There's pressure from everywhere. But it starts from when we're like 2, 3. And then it keeps growing like that way.
Thank you very much. Now, we seem to have a good idea of the sources of pressure. Brother Demola, what are the consequences of this pressure? How do they manifest in men? What do they bring out in men?
Good morning, church, and happy Father's Day to all the men in the house. I think pressure is... I'll start by looking at it from our society. Like he said, there is this... we've normalized bottling up pressure. You know, you're a man, you have to just be strong, and then... So we tend to take in a lot. You have the pressure of meeting basic needs at home. If you're looking at it from basic needs, you have the pressure, sometimes sense of belonging, sometimes actualization. There's a lot of pressure across board, and then you're supposed to just hold up everything. And the consequence at the end of the day is when you try to bottle this thing up because the society tells you to do so, it becomes, you implode. So that is why you see people eliciting violent behavior. You see some men degenerating into depression. So I think, but we shouldn't allow all these things to kind of overwhelm us. There are ways of responding, because regardless of how we find it, whichever divide you are in Maslow's hierarchy of need, whether it's basic or the need to belong or the need to realize a goal, you understand? There is going to be pressure. What is important is how do we respond to the pressure?
Now, I want us to dwell a little more on how we respond to the consequences of financial pressure, for example, on the father in the home. Your wife is putting you under pressure. Your children are also putting pressure, asking you to perform to their own expectations. How can this affect a man in the way he handles his finances and in the things he can begin to put his hands into?
Okay, so at the home front, I think it still boils down to our society. You are the man, you're supposed to be responsible for everything. I think for me, as a man, how I respond is to first focus on continuous improvement. You need to have a mindset of improving incrementally, an agile mindset. Yes. If you look at our society today, I mean, between 2008 and today, my income has probably increased incrementally, exponentially, arguably. But then you realize that my purchasing power has probably not changed or declined. So if I've not done some things to improve on myself, just imagine what it would be like if I was maintaining status quo. So that means that we need to, focus on improving incrementally. You understand? It might not look big, but by the time you look back, you realize that you're actually moving and the pressure is not as overwhelming as it should be. Another is, you have a partner in the house. I mean, why should you reduce the responsibility of a woman in the house to the kitchen, you understand, and the other room, just like our president? So I think the women are there to support us. We should focus on empowering them, supporting them to be better so that they can support us. I'm not the man that wants to have a woman that will just be at home and do nothing. I want to support her because it puts a lot of pressure off me if I'm able to empower her to support me. And I think that is how I've been managing pressure.
Let me cut you in. Let me cut in that area, sir. Some men are a little bit afraid that if the financial earning power of their spouses are enhanced, she could become a rival in the home. Do you agree to that?
I think there is a lot we need to unlearn in Africa, because we've actually grown up with that narrative, people feeling intimidated by the success. I mean, I want to be able to walk out there and say, that is my wife, she's the Minister of Finance. You understand? And then I'm proud. And then I'm just there at the background, having fun. The other guy that wants to be the alpha male is going through a lot of pressure. You understand? He cascades that pressure to the home front. He's violent. He reduces the wife because he has self-esteem issues because he can't meet his need. Why can't you just take that pressure off yourself? Some of those women, they are better administrators. They are good at doing business, even better than you. Put them in that position and support them.
Thank you very much. I like that. Abadipo, See, part of the things we see in our generation is the reduction in the life expectancy among men. You see a lot of men in their 60s, 50s even, falling to terminal illnesses. And our fathers lived up to 90s, 100, and all of that. Do you think there is a relationship between the pressure we're exposed to and the health challenges that men face in today's world?
Okay, thank you very much. So I don't think there is. I know there is a relationship between the two. There's this very popular saying that says a problem shared is a problem halved. Naturally, men do not share their problems until they cannot hold it anymore. And the truth is, the easiest and the shortest cut to high blood pressure is actually bottling things up. One of the things we need to learn, I'm preaching to myself right now. One of the things we need to learn as men is, first and foremost, the person at home is you. It says, the two shall become one. So whatever problem or burden you think you can carry, then you should be able to carry it too. So when those issues come up, don't think about if she hears that I goofed in the office, or if she hears that I just made this bad loss in the business, she will flare up or she will get emotional. Share with her first. Leave our response to her. Our response is her response. Your response is your response. Most times, our spouses don't get to hear things happening around us until things have gone way bad. And that's the first thing, because we are carrying this thing alone. And then most of us in church is even worse. For those guys who go to beer parlor, after 3-4 green bottles, they open up and talk about it. Those of us who are church folks, you don't do green bottle, we only do Coca-Cola and Fanta. You just keep. And then we also don't have the habit of saying, oh, let me go and talk to pastor, and we can ask pastor now. If he has 10 visitors who come for counseling in a week, 9.5 are females. We do not open up. It starts from opening up.
So who do men talk to, please?
So there are 3 people you should talk to.
Okay.
Every man should have 3 people.
Okay.
One is your spouse, automatically.
Wow.
The second person is God. The Bible says, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All men, we want to take we can do all things. And we forget that doing all things depends on the Christ that is strengthening. So if we believe strongly that it's Christ that is strengthening us, and he's the one that will empower us to do everything we want to do, then we should be able to talk to him a whole lot and a lot more often. And then the final thing, we all should be accountable to someone. Personal advice, someone who is also godly like you. Someone that shares the same biblical values like you do. That's what has taken a lot of men into things like gambling, into fraud, because sometimes the person they talk to is actually the wrong guy. And then guy, let's go and do this deal and this deal. And then eventually everything boomerangs and the pressure multiplies. So every man should have 3 people. You should talk to your spouse, you should talk to God, and then have a godly, either accountability partner or a mentor that you can also talk to at every point in time.
Thank you so very much. MOB, we are looking at the ways to handle the pressure, the godly ways, what we should do. You are a leadership expert. What is the leadership role that the man should take in the house that would help him handle pressure from outside and from within?
Thank you, Bromiwa. Let me first of all establish it this way. You don't become a father by accident. You become a father by design. You have to be intentional about it. And every organization takes the character of the leader. And every home takes the character of the father. Let me start from our finances. When a man is under pressure, it affects every area of his life. That's why you need a good support system. I have a tribe where we have what we call Thursday engagement. And one of the things we did this year, I said, let me teach every man in the MOB tribe how to save. And we had a target for this year that if you belong to the MOB tribe, you must be able to save $1,000. I gave them the templates in dollars and gave them the templates in naira. Initially, when I sent it out, there's a medical doctor here. He's in this service now. He sent me a message. MOB, I don't earn in dollars. How do I save in dollars? I said, no problem. Let me break it down for you guys. And I sent the template to them. To God be the glory, over 60%, because we do weekly checkups. At times, maybe we've not done that in the last 3 weeks now. Some of them have done 60% already. And guess what? When I got to the office and I shared the vision with my boss, he said to me, he said, MOB, do you know what he did to those men? You stretched their mind. It's called the law of the rubber band. Anytime your mind stretches, it does not go back to its original state. He now said, for yourself, set a new target for yourself too. So you must have a support system. Guess how they are doing the savings? I introduced them to different apps. You can use this app for those people that want to do in Naira. We're using 570 as the conversion rate. That means as a man in the MOB tribe, you should be able to save 570,000 this year. It starts by, we send them this box. It has about 52 boxes. Every week, you are expected, maybe this week you do 5,000. This week you do 4,000. This week you do, and there's a week that is even zero. So there's this message at the back of your mind that if I don't put anything aside this week, MOB is going to ask me. Someone in the tribe is going to ask me, like what Bro Dikwe said, you must be accountable to someone. For the thought of my wife reporting me to PF, it resets my brain. So if you have a guy in your life that there's nobody that can reset his brain, that is a disaster going somewhere to happen. Oh yes, and there's a correlation between the way a man feels and his account. And that's one of the first things I told the people in the MOB tribe. There are times you don't have money in your wallet. But when your mind goes back to your savings, that level of confidence comes back again. You can do anything. Praise the name of Jesus. And that is why you must belong to a tribe. In that tribe, in your association, let's look at it this way. Look at the 5 people closest to you here. I want you to just have that picture on the inside. Your own life is tending in the direction of their life.
Yes.
So if you don't like their productivity, it's time to port. It's time to look for people that you are looking up to in your tribe. If you are the most important person, the most intelligent, the richest person, you are in the wrong group.
You're right.
You are in the wrong group.
Thank you so very much. Very well expressed. You see, in all you have said, I see the importance of getting other people to influence us, the right people. But you see, as fathers, we also serve as models to our children. Because the world we live in is full of the wrong models in the society. Where should the man stand in modeling for his children nowadays? What should we be showing our children about the way to live? I want to start with Brother Demola again.
Thank you very much. In terms of leading, I don't think we are not fathers for nothing. We are fathers at our own front to lead from the front. And we live in a world today where there are several vices. Take it or leave it. Whether you decide to protect your kid or not, I mean, there are so many things happening out there. Information moves at the speed of light, and they are just going to be caught in the web. So what we can do as parents is, as much as possible, to, for our kids to start very early by indulging them in routines they find fascinating, that are godly, of course. And, let them know that, okay, this is what you should be doing at this time. This is what you should be doing at this time. If it's time for music lesson, this is time for music lesson. It is time for this class. Let them, but more importantly, it should be things they are passionate about. So create a kind of routine for them such that they just get used to that routine. And over time, it becomes an habit. Because if you don't do that, other things will take their time, whether we like it or not. A child has so much time, even within your house, to be right in there and in Australia. So we have to keep them busy, and we have to indulge the culture of ensuring we follow through that process, so that even when they leave the confines of our home, they are still kind of cultured to that, form of engagement, and there are no new distractions.
Thank you very much. But Adipo, what do you say?
Okay. Just a little bit of addition, because he has really covered a lot.
Yes.
I think our environment teaches every child, especially male children, to be responsible naturally. Okay. You are just growing up, everybody tells you are a man, you have to be responsible.
What about the female children? What about we should take the female children as
Yes, I'm coming there. But there are lots of things that are wrong in our society today that are being left behind. One is that we don't have enough of examples of being emotionally balanced to kids, especially from fathers. Fathers are known to be providers, and that's about all. Fathers should also be known to be people who love. They should also be known to be people who feel. Yes. I grew up under a father who is clergy, but man, he was like a robot. I know he provides, and that's about it. It's not, in my life, I think I can't count more than 2 times that I can remember that he hugged me. That's an African father.
Yes.
I know he loves me, but he did not teach me that way. And it took a lot of effort for me, and I'm still trying, to get to that point where I am someone who displays emotion openly. And that's the challenge with the fathers of our generation. Okay. There are bad habits that have been passed down to us that we need to shed. One is the ability to express our emotion. Let your wife know exactly how you are feeling about her at that point. Let your children know how you feel. It's not that you gave them that bag of, or that pack of pizza or something, and then you walk to your room. That's all. Yes, you've displayed it, but sometimes the hug you give the kids is more important than the box of pizza that you dropped on the table. So that is one area that is very, very important for fathers in our generation to show examples. Because, again, it is this example that your boys would perpetuate. It is these examples that your girls would expect from the man that is coming to them. So it's important for us to show these examples. That's number one. Number two is spiritual. In my study of the Bible, I understand that the most important reason why God chose Abraham and selected him is because God said, I know he will train his children. Yes. And I think that is very instructive for every one of us as men. Sometimes I ask myself, am I sure that when God looks at me, he will say, I know that he will train his children? And we need to be that godly example. Let the person who teaches the kids to pray be the father. Let the person who teaches them to study the Bible be the father. Let the person who shows them that, hey, Sunday morning, Wednesday is not the day that we go late. We need to get to church early. Let it be the father. Let him be the one shouting, if you don't get out of this house. Well, I grew up on a father that particular aspect was very important to him. So, coming late to church, he doesn't even get there. But if the father is the one that the mom is sitting in the car, everybody is waiting for you in the sitting room, and then you are the one everybody is waiting for, you've ruined the next generation spiritually.
Thank you so very much. I'm on to my last question right now. My question is this. We've said so many things about what fathers should do and all of that. How would fathers really want to be appreciated? As a father, how do you want your wife to appreciate you? How do you want your children to appreciate you? Let's start with Emily.
A lot of men have this thing at the back of their mind that Father's Day, I'm the one that will spend. Mother's Day, I'm the one that will spend. Children's Day, I'm the one that will spend. And sometimes PF will even tell them, take them out, but get demands. But this morning,
it is PF's.
I was just saying it. But this morning, I remembered last week. Yes. We're just talking, and my last daughter, she's just 10. Just said, Dad, what would you like to have as present for Father's Day? I just thought they were joking, and I said, okay, I want these. And this morning, that was the first thing they presented to me. I was so blown away that without being asked, I called Golden Tulip this morning to book a table for them. That I must celebrate them. I must celebrate because men, and at times when you are doing it, even, and I'm going to say to the woman now, at times, even if he's not meeting your expectation, if he's stretching a little bit, appreciate him for that little one he's stretching. If you're expecting 40,000 and he dropped 10,000, before you complain, first of all say thank you. You know, when you say that thank you,
I thought all the men would be on their feet right now. Yes.
you know, when you say that thank you for that little one, tomorrow the guy will feel, I'm amazed. Paying school fees is my responsibility. But I'm surprised after paying their fees, the children will come to say, oh, Dad, thank you for. I say, oh, it breaks me. It breaks me. So let's learn to celebrate our men. Men are moved by what they see.
Thank you so much. Brother Demola, how do you love to be celebrated?
Well, I think in Africa, you know, again, the responsibility of fatherhood is a thankless job. So I think being appreciated is very, very important. It makes us feel loved, and you know, you just feel like you are playing a very important role in the family. And more importantly for me, the responsibility of support. I want to be able to just walk into the house and then you're telling me, you know, I mean, DSTV expired, but I've done it. It makes me happy. So, you know, so I mean, those are one of those ways I want to be appreciated. So women, take up some responsibilities.
How do you like to be celebrated, sir?
Also, I think I agree seriously with the two of them. I'd like to add something small to what you said about those gifts. Sometimes it's not even tangible gifts. This morning I did not get a tangible gift. But what I got was that I saw somebody with two boys come to meet me, and all of them said, Happy Father's Day. Honestly, it broke me. Sometimes, you see, we talk about little things. I think men appreciate little things more than you realize.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just that acknowledgement that we want. And then you mentioned the fact that, oh, you ask for 40K, and the man comes with 10K, say thank you. Don't end at just saying thank you. Now, a challenge that we have in this part of the world is, Eshegon, thank you. But it was 40K. Honestly, that bot has cancelled the thank you. Let me tell you the secret. Say thank you very much. This must have been very difficult. Go away. Then 3 hours later, come back and say that bot. It works. But when you are putting the bot and the thank you together in the same sentence.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't know what to add. It only shows that men are as emotional as the women are. One of the most cherished gifts I've had from my family are the letters my little daughter wrote to me when she was in primary 1.
Yeah.
They had this arts and design exercise in school, and she designed a card and wrote, I love you, Dad.
wow.
She was just about 4 there. I still have it on my wardrobe, pinned there. I will never throw it away. Those are the kind of little things. When I get back home and the TV is on, my boys come to help me take my files, drop it in my room, and just go back to watch TV. My daughter still comes back. Daddy, how are you? How was your day? So when I'm dressed up and I'm going out, my son says, your outfit looks good. I love those things.
Yeah.
So these are the things we want. We don't mind the bills, honestly. We are just joking when we say we won't buy things for our family on Father's Day. We love it when you spend our money because we are working because of you, really. Praise the Lord. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great pleasure being with everybody. Thank you.